welcome to a very different type of video today. As it says on the thumbnail, I'm going to be taking you through the 10 films that I regret buying the most. I've got them right here, ready to show you. I think we've all been there. If you collect DVDs, sometimes ones just creep onto the shelf that you regret buying, and forevermore they look back at you as if to say, I got your money. I think the quality control of my collection has been quite good for the most part over the years. I mean, I've been collecting for 18 years. I did a count up this morning. I've only got 164 horror films. Well, if you count the non-horror films, that number probably goes up to over 300. So that's not a massive amount for 18 years, you know. So I like to think that I choose carefully, usually. I mean, there was a time in my 20s where I would sell DVDs sometimes if I was skin. And at Christmas, if I was struggling for money to buy everybody in the family presents, I would go to the DVD shelf, think to myself, right, what film looks in pristine condition? Ah, that one. And then I would give that out as a present that didn't cost me any money, shameless. But one year I got my brother Friday the 13th Part 9, he opened it and I was like, that is a really underrated film. You need that in your life. Trust me, I'm doing you a favour. Yeah, those are the days. But yeah, I don't usually buy films that I end up regretting, but sometimes I do. And here are the movies. So let's get into them. I ended up finding 11. I thought I would find 10, but I ended up finding one more than that. So I'll have one honourable mention, which is Jaws 2. I got a Blu-ray for this. It cost me like £12. That's $16 maybe in America. Just totally unnecessary. My memory of this film from childhood was really good, but watching it as an adult, it's just a complete repeat of the first film, but without the two best characters. It's got nothing to say that's original. It's a cash grab, it really is. And it's not terrible, but I don't need it in my collection. You know, it's not a good film particularly. So that's the honourable mention. We've got 10 more that I regret more than Jaws 2. Right, first up, and these are in no particular order, this is not a rankings. Transformers. The reason there's no title on there is because there's meant to be a slipcover on it, but it's got lost. I don't care. I bought the first 3 films in this series, intending to get into it, thinking I would maybe like it. I used to have a toy when I was a kid, from what I can remember. But no, I didn't enjoy them. I had a headache very quickly. Somehow I bludgeoned my way through 2 of them before I finally gave up. But I never watched the third one. It's sat on my shelf, never been watched. And the only reason I keep them is because I have a lot of horror films, and I also have some very small kids, and I think anything that I can keep hold of that kids could potentially watch, then I might as well have. But yeah, it doesn't sit easy with me that I have 3 Transformers films on my shelf. Tron Legacy. I enjoyed the first film back when I was a kid. It was the sort of thing you could watch on a Saturday afternoon on TV when you had nothing better to do. Despite its limitations, it was okay. I thought this would be a lot better with modern day graphics, and it just wasn't really. I liked the motorbike chase in the middle of the film, and that's about it. I didn't spend much money on this. Admittedly, it's a second-hand film. Bought it from a second-hand DVD shop. I know I didn't like it because I've never even bothered to take the sticker off. You know, if I really enjoy a film and it's got a sticker on it, straight afterwards I'll be like peeling it off, dusting it down and putting it neatly on the shelf. But no, I was never going to give this one as much care and attention. And what makes me regret buying this film even more is the fact that I had a relative come over about a month after I'd watched it, and we decided to watch a film, and I said, just pick anything you want off my shelf. And I'm thinking to myself, ooh, I've got so many good films, I wonder which one he's going to pick. He picked Tron frigging Legacy. So I had to watch the damn thing twice in the space of a month. And this is why it pays to be antisocial and not invite people over to your house. I've even got a sign on the front door now saying no visitors, no one's coming over, no one's staying over, no one's watching my films. It's just the way to do it. It's the way to run your life, trust me. Right, Justice League. This is a bit embarrassing. It's still got the cellophane wrapper on. I don't know if you can tell. Shamefully, I bought this, A, having seen it before, B, knowing full well that there was going to be a new Zack Snyder version coming out in 2021. So why did I buy it? Well, I was doing a marathon of the films at the time, and I'd been buying them up to this point, so I just kept going and bought this one. And I thought to myself, this will be interesting because when it gets to next year, I can do another marathon of the films, and I'll be getting a brand new Justice League, so it'll be like an entirely new experience. That was my thinking, but I don't know, it was a complete brain fart, because by the time it came to watching this, I just couldn't even motivate myself to do it. And so now it's sat here with the cellophane on, probably never going to get opened. You can't even resell it. I mean, who's going to who's going to buy this? The crap version of Justice League from 2017. So complete waste of £10 or whatever it was. That's like $14 if you're wondering, if you're American. Next we have The Hunger Games, the third film, which is called Mockingjay Part 1. Now, me and my wife really enjoyed the first two of these. We saw the second one at the cinema. We were too busy to watch the third one when it came out at the cinema, but we wanted to. We got the DVD not long after it came out, but it was just boring compared to the first two. And I think they did something with this where they split the final book into 2 films. So it should have been a 3-film series, but ended up being 4. I think I'm right about that. But we watched the third film knowing full well that we still had a 4th one to come. But it was so boring that I couldn't even finish the third film. I think my wife went on to watch the 4th one, but she doesn't exactly rave about it. And yeah, this is still on the shelf. Horrible. All right, this next one is really painful. It's a triple pack of Survival of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and Diary of the Dead. All reasonably good films, but it's a con because that Day of the Dead is not the Romero version like the other two are. It's like a remake from 2006, and it's not clear from the box that that's the case. I feel like the film should have the years in brackets or make it explicit that, you know, that's a remake. Or just say, you know, 2 Romero films included or something like that. I mean, call me cynical, but I just feel like it's scamming you, that. Do you know what I mean? It's deliberate in its marketing, and I fell for it, and it pisses me off. That, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's 10 quid or whatever I paid for it, but I don't know. It just annoys me that I fell for it. Next up, we have Blair Witch 2. I basically bought this because I was going through the review series of the Blair Witch films. But I wish I hadn't. I mean, this film is just as bad as I remember from watching it in the day. It's actually a special edition. It's got like 2 discs and a pamphlet and all these features. And no, guys, you can dress this up as much as you want. It's not going to get any better. I will never watch this film again. I'd quite happily give it away if somebody wanted it. This next one, Eden Lake, is actually a very, very good film. So why do I regret buying it? Well, because it's just completely unwatchable. I saw it at the cinema, loved it. I raved about it. I told people about it. As soon as it came out on DVD, I bought it. I think this was about 2009. When I watched it a second time, though, the experience was completely diluted, and I realised that it's just not one of those films that is good when you watch it a second time, you know. And it's 2020 now. It's been 11 years. I've not watched it again since. From my point of view, I feel like if you're going to have a film on your shelf, you should be watching it at least once every 10 years. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, I know some people just like to collect movies and have them there 50 years and never watch them, and they're quite happy. They just like to have them, but that's me, once every 10 years. Otherwise, there's no point. Oh, how embarrassing. Jaws the Revenge. So we've already had Jaws 2, which was an honourable mention. This is a definite mention. I spent £11, £12 on this, which is what, $15, $16 if you're in America. Complete waste of money. When I bought it, I think I was marathoning the movies, so I bought all 4, and I thought it can't be as bad as I remember, surely. I mean, it's got Michael Caine in it. I think people are just exaggerating when they go on about it. Maybe they're going on about the revenge aspect of it too much. Maybe there's a decent film in there somewhere, but oh no, it was one of the worst films I've ever seen. I could just rip the piss out of this film if I spent like 10 minutes reviewing it. It's shockingly bad, really insulting that they put this movie out as a final product. It's really poor. I'd probably give it 0 out of 5. No, I'd give it half a point actually, just for Michael Caine. He's all right, but it makes me deeply uncomfortable that I have this in my house. I really do. I have to ask questions of myself as to why I went out and spent money on this product. Nothing else needs to be said. VHS Viral. This might be a good film, but for the fact I've never seen it. In fact, the final 2 films are both films I've never seen, even though I bought them. So that's why I regret them. In terms of VHS Viral, I really enjoyed the first film. The second film was okay, but when it came to the third, I just didn't want to watch the third one. I'd had enough by that point. And what I really need to do is to just go ahead and watch this without it having to be part of a long marathon, if you see what I mean. But I've had this a few years now, never put it on. So it was pointless buying it, but I need to. It could be good. It could be good. Finally, same thing, King Arthur, except this is worse than VHS Viral. At least VHS Viral is a horror film and I'm bound to watch it at some point. King Arthur, I mean, I'll watch a film like this now and again. I remember enjoying Braveheart a lot, back in the day, but I don't know. I just randomly bought this out shopping once and never watched it. I think the runtime might have put me off. 136 minutes, that'd be a slog for a film that I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy. It's just one of those that's sat there for years now and I've not watched it and not even come close to watching it. It's just one of those really bizarre decisions you make when you're out shopping sometimes, but what can you do? Right, that is it. We've got to the end. Those are the 10 films that I regret buying the most. By all means, let me know some horrible films that are on your shelf that you regret buying. But for now, that's all for today. I'll see you again another time. Bye-bye.